In a beautiful city in the United States, there lived a simple yet happy family, David, his wife Emily, and their little daughter, Sophia. Their home was filled with laughter. Every day, there were joyous giggles, small moments of happiness, and the colors of love scattered everywhere. When David came home from work, Emily would be standing at the door, and little Sophia would run and hug his legs. Their life was like a dream. But perhaps, fate did not want to let them keep these joys. One day, Emily suddenly developed a high fever. After being admitted to the hospital, they found out that Emily was suffering from a deadly disease. David did everything he could to treat her, prayed endlessly, and held on to every hope. But in the race of life, Emily lost the battle. One day, early in the morning, she closed her eyes forever. The home was shattered. David was broken. And little Sophia, who wanted to sleep in her mother's arms, wept as she placed flowers on her mother's grave. Some time passed, and loneliness began to envelop David. The comments of society, the advice of friends, and the emptiness in his heart made him feel compelled to remarry. Thus, David married a woman named Catherine. At first, everything seemed fine, but soon, Catherine's true nature started to show. She could not tolerate Sophia's innocent presence. She would repeatedly tell David, "Either send this child to someone else, or I will leave this house." David, who was now weakened himself, succumbed to Catherine's pressure. One day, with a heavy heart, he sent Sophia to his brother's house in another city. Sophia's innocent eyes were filled with questions, with pain, but there was no one to listen. David would sometimes send money, but never came to meet her. Thus, little Sophia was left all alone among strangers. At her uncle's house, there was only her grandmother, who loved her immensely. In her grandmother's lap, Sophia would sometimes find the peace that reminded her of the lost touch of her mother. But the rest of the house. The cruelty of her aunt and cousins was no less. Her aunt would beat her for the smallest mistakes, taunt her, and deprive her of food. Her cousins would snatch her clothes, mock her, and humiliate Sophia in front of their friends. Sophia's world was confined to her grandmother's prayers. But another cruel twist of fate took her grandmother away too. After her grandmother's passing, it felt as if the world had collapsed on Sophia. Now, there was no one to listen, no one to support her. Her aunt and cousins made her work like a servant day and night. Little Sophia would cry day and night, remembering her mother's grave and sobbing quietly. But in all this darkness, there was a small light. Her cousin, Ryan. Ryan, who had never been able to express his love in words. But who would always wipe Sophia's tears. Secretly leave food for her. Save her from scolding, and give her little gifts. Time passed. Both grew up. Sophia didn't even realize when Ryan's presence had become the support of her heart. And Ryan, who had always tried to save Sophia from pain, had now made a decision. He would make Sophia a part of his life forever. When Ryan mentioned his love to his mother, it was like a storm had arrived. Shouts, taunts, accusations, everything came pouring down on Ryan. But Ryan did not give up. One day, holding Sophia's hand, they both went to court and got married. Outside the court, when Ryan held Sophia's hand in his and said, "No one will ever hurt you again. I have become your protector, forever." Sophia broke down in tears. They were tears of joy. Tears of salvation. And tears of love. Now, Ryan and Sophia had a small home. A home where there was love, respect, and most of all, peace. Ryan worked day and night for Sophia's happiness. And Sophia was slowly forgetting her wounds, wrapped in the fragrance of love. They say, true love is the one that comes after all the cruelty, all the stumbles, all the deprivations. And then stays with you for a lifetime. Ryan and Sophia had been married for a few months now. Life had found a new rhythm. Under the shade of love, respect, and affection, Sophia was slowly starting to heal from the wounds of her past. But in a hidden corner of her heart, there was still an emptiness. The wound of her mother's death could never truly heal. But being abandoned by her father, that pain was different, like a wound that refused to close. One day, a charity organization in the city hosted an event for orphan children. Ryan said, "Let's go there, maybe it will make you feel better." Sophia hesitated a little but eventually agreed and went with him. At the event, children were laughing and playing, but Sophia's eyes were searching for something else. She was looking for her own lost childhood among them. Suddenly, her eyes fell upon a man standing quietly in a corner. His hair had turned white, his clothes were simple, and deep regret shimmered in his eyes. That man was none other than David, her father. David froze the moment he saw Sophia. Tears welled up in his eyes. His steps faltered. Slowly, he started walking toward Sophia. Sophia's heart began to pound. Her entire past flashed before her eyes in a single moment. Her mother's death, her stepmother's cruelty, being abandoned. Everything.